Okay, this is another video in the series around the end of the financial year. We often get asked, what do you got to do at the end of the financial year? The answer, to be honest, is nothing. You don't actually have to do anything. There's probably some things that you might be interested in doing or might be wise to do, but at the end of the day you don't actually have to do anything in the system. So the system will just work perfectly fine as long as you've watched a couple of those other videos. For example, your calendar's correct and you've outputted your payment summaries and updated your tax tables. There's really nothing that you have to do when the end of the financial year rolls over. So for example, if you look at your reports and you go into the report console, and for argument's sake you're going to run, say, a balance sheet or a profit and loss report, for example, you run these as at a particular date. So if you've rolled over the end of the year, or the end of the year has happened, there's actually no rollover process per se, you can just come back and process a profit and loss report as at any time. So if you, let's say it was the middle of July, you wanted to print out a profit and loss for your accountant, you can click on the 30th of the 6th, go run, and it goes off and runs all your stuff and gives you a P&L for that particular period. The other thing that you might want to do is in your chart of accounts, if you go to queries and you actually drop down the query from the list here, which is the transaction history. I'm going to do this, export the transactions to MYOB. What this does is if I go into the dates here and I do it from and to date, so I go back, for example, to the 1st of July 2010 to the 30th of June 2011 and go OK. This is actually going to update all of the transactions in here that I've processed in the system, and these are all going to be those transactions that I've done for that financial year. What I can then do is if I just scroll over a little bit to the right here and click on save, I can actually save that as a CSV file. So I'm going to put that, say for example, I put that into my temp folder and I'm going to call it GL transactions CSV file. What you can then do is you can go into your C drive and into the temp folder, and there's your GL trans. You can double click on it and open it up, and it'll open it up in Excel. Now what you can do is your accountant can then do this and use this for inputting into their system. So you can go off and do that and put that in there, and they can go and import it into their system and go and process their transactions in whatever system that the accountants are using. So if you want to use that, utilize that, you certainly can. You don't have to do that, that's up to you, but that's an exported transaction list. We say that it's to MYOB. Look, to be honest, it's just an export to any CSV file. It doesn't have to be MYOB, but it is in a format that MYOB understands, and you can import it into MYOB. So look, apart from really maybe after the end of the financial year running some reports and obviously providing some information to your accountant, there's really nothing that you have to do at the end of the financial year. So it should be relatively straightforward for you to handle the end of the financial year. And as I say, there's nothing outrageously difficult to do. So maybe some people might make a little bit more bigger deal of it than what it actually is, but the system actually caters for really making it as easy as possible for you. So I hope this has helped you, and I hope that's allayed any fears that you might have had as to what goes on at the end of the financial year, and hopefully it comes out pretty easy for you. Thanks very much.